Okay, welcome to tutorial 3. This is called entering a band, and in here you will see the way to go ahead and enter a band into our band catalog, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. So you can see that in my personal, you can always tell my personal email is yellow, and it's got these two kids with their tongues sticking out over here. Those are my kids, a lot younger than they are now, and that's the gauntlet. See, so I point to the gauntlet email address and I get that picture. Okay, so hi Kenny, run it on the blah 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 blah. I can see DVDs on YouTube, press release. Okay, yeah, I can do this. That's this right here. Okay, so what we're going to do first is do the Mike Orlando band. Adrenaline Mob founder guitarist Mike Orlando has released the official video for Burn off his newly released Sonic Stomp instrumental DVD live in studio from Brazil. So we have Mike Orlando, one song. Okay, and the album is Sonic Stomp Instrumental DVD. Okay, so what we're going to do is a DVD post. So this is how this is going to look, okay? First thing you do, what's the band? Mike Orlando, the guitarist from Adrenaline Mob. We're going to put it in as Mike Orlando, okay? Copy. And we're going to index on the first letter of the first name to make it simple and stay in touch with what people are doing nowadays, okay? So, let's close down the gauntlets and just stay in mine, and then we're going to go thegauntlet.com and admin login PHP. It logs me in automatically. News, add news. Okay, so first thing we do is add news. Oh, shoot. Sometimes it tries to get away from you. We're going to add news. Now before we do the add news part, let me just jump back real quick. Is there a photograph in here? No, there isn't. So what we're going to do is go to google.com and we're going to go to Mike Orlando images. And where did it go? Let's do this. Mike Orlando guitar. You don't want the rest of it. It's still the same guy. Okay, so there's YouTube, Charvel Guitars. This looks like a good one for him on his official website. So we're going to save this image as Mike Orlando, and we're going to save it in a folder, as you notice, on my desktop called the Gauntlet. Now you can arrange it directly any way you want, but it's just having a special folder for photography that goes with posts, if that makes sense, okay? Save, okay? And that goes with band names, okay? So now let's go back here to, we're not going to add news. We're going to go down to news and add bands. Band, add band, okay. So the band name, Mike Orlando. Okay, after having typed that name in there, hit choose file, back into the gauntlet. Now we're looking for Mike Orlando, M-I-K, oh, there he is, JPEG. They don't expand very well, so hopefully it'll be a good size already. Upload the image, there you see what we just looked at. The band name, we're going to call Mike Orlando too, because I'm really not sure if this is Mike Orlando or if this is Adrenaline Mob. So we're going to call him Mike Orlando. I'm sure the publicist will be very quick to correct me. Don't know the label. We're going to call this is the tough part here, folks. We're just going to call it Straight Ahead Heavy Metal. Is there a power metal on here? Power metal is clean vocals, usually, sort of a new wave of British heavy metal sound, but nowadays there's a new wave of British heavy metal, which would include Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Queensryche, Def Leppard. Yes, Def Leppard was metal. Maiden, Praying Mantis, even proto-metal like Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, etc., etc. So, actually, that was the first wave British heavy metal. You get the idea, okay? So, of course, then there's all these other subgenres, and if you want to learn about these, the only thing I'm going to tell you is just go to Urban Dictionary, Regular Dictionary, Wikipedia, and find the different definitions so you can tell them apart, or as you need to find them, do that. Okay, so we've checked that, choose file, upload image, okay. Submit. Band added successfully, add band bio. Now this is kind of an important part, but we're not going to fill that in this deal. I'd like to ask you all though, who do fill this in, we'll have an extra payment for you, and when you send, any one of you send me an email, say what's the extra payment for filling out the incomplete band profile, it's going to be double what it is for just a press release, so consider that. So we'll have that put in, and then you submit this. Let's see, select the band. Let's see, so we can't even select the band here. That's odd. Anyway, submit. We'll figure that out. And here is where you would add an album. And in our early archives, we have every record from each band. And as a new one came out, they were added in. As you can see, the taxonomy of this site was excruciating. We're working on automation for some of these things, but we don't want to lose traction with adding new bands. So there's Mike. Okay, now that that's done, it's got a picture with it and everything else. That's how you add a band. Now, if you wanted to find the bio for this band, right, you might want to go out of here to all instead of images, official website for Mike Orlando, and there he is, home news video bio, boom. So in here you would go take and pull down Mike's bio right here and paste it in the band section. Does that make sense? So for that first press release you do that has a band not already listed, I'd like to ask you all that are going to be contributing writers to just pull the bio in. And the hell with, there's Joe Stump. Wait a minute. He's also, look at all these guitarists and these guys. So anyway, Joe is a virtuosic guitarist, much like Mike Orlando is. By that I mean in the vein of Joe Satriani or Devin Townsend or who am I thinking of? There's a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of what you would call virtuoso guitarists who, like Yngwie Malmsteen is one, but he thinks he's the best out there in the world, so it's hard to touch him. But there's others too. Rick Nielsen, kind of, but he's a beloved guitar player. He's with Cheap Trick, of course. You've probably heard of him, and he's still going. I'm trying to think of one we interviewed in their bus that was one of the better ones, and I just can't think of it. He's really big in Japan, actually. I think he married a Japanese woman recently. Anyway, the band bio can be found like that. Simple. That was not hard. Tell me that wasn't hard. That was hard. And then you're done with the band, entering a band. So, let's take a look at something real quick. I'm going to take and copy this and see if I can do this here real quick. Add artist. Okay, Mike Orlando. We got the image uploaded. I'm going to try this a second time. Just hopefully not blow up the entire system. We're going to go with just plain heavy metal and power metal. Okay. Official site would be here. MikeOrlandomusic.com. Copy. Put that in there. I didn't put the, the labels change so frequently that it's really not fair to put them up, because then you'd have to just go back and change them right away. We want to put the most reliably current information in these things as we can. Submit, add band bio, okay. Manager email, webmaster email. So those things go in too, and those are all in the page I just showed you right here. No, not right there. Right here. So home news, videos, bio. Yeah, they might even be in the bio section. Contact us, endorsements. If they're not, you can go on to Google and say, you know, put those names, Mike Orlando guitarist. It'll pull them up right away. I've never had a problem with that. Okay, so back here, and back here. And we're going to paste the bio in. Okay, so now that's in there. Now we have a band, a picture, and a bio. Okay, so now we have Mike Orlando in the catalog, and I knew he wasn't there, so I just added him. Adrenaline Mob is probably there, but not Mike by himself. Alright, so folks, that has been how to add a band. Next is how to put a press release up.